Okay, I don't see any. You want to go ahead, Ashley?
Yeah, okay, perfect. So like Jen had mentioned, my name is Ashley Jensen. I am going to be sharing my screen in just a minute here. So let's get that pulled up. All right. Oh, all right, perfect. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So like Jen had mentioned, we're going to be kind of looking at the basics of food and mood, kind of looking at how diet can enhance overall mental health. Um, like I said, my name is Ashley Jensen. I am a registered dietitian as well as a certified eating disorder registered dietitian. I am the behavioral health professional liaison for BHN. And in terms of work, I have a private practice based in San Diego and then have pretty extensive history at the different levels of care for eating disorder treatment centers, as well as residential for mental health adolescents. All right. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of looking at the overview, we're gonna look at a couple different factors that influence overall mental health. I wanna make it known that these are not the only factors that influence mental health, just the factors that I decided to kind of focus a little bit more on today. It is important to note that good nutrition not only impacts overall physical health, but definitely plays a role in our mental health as well. All right, so things we're gonna focus on today is eating regularly throughout the day, choosing whole grains when possible, eating a variety of different food items, including protein, incorporating omega-3 fatty acids, maintaining hydration status, and then as well moving your body. All right, so consistent eating patterns. So it is really important, especially again, the emphasis is mental health. So it's really important to making sure that we're eating regularly throughout the day, really aiming for anywhere like around 3 meals, somewhere between 2, 3, maybe 4 snacks a day, evenly distributed apart. That's really going to help to kind of maintain blood sugar levels, which helps improve overall mood status. Skipping meals causes a dip in blood sugar. So we really kind of see like those peaks and dips, which our mood kind of follows along with that. So that really causes low mood, fatigue, and irritability. So the more that we can consistently eat throughout the day is going to help just regulate blood sugar levels. All right, looking at whole grains. So choosing whole grains when possible, which I know is not always going to be possible. Whole grains, fresh fruits and vegetables do have a lower glycemic index. So these sugars are absorbed slower, which are going to help to stabilize or really prevent those like drastic mood swings. Refined sugars have a more elevated glycemic index, which are typically absorbed quicker. So this results in faster bouts of energy, which really can leave us feeling fatigued and tired. I think it's really important to note that this doesn't mean complete omission of refined sugars in mental health. It's really just creating awareness of how much is being consumed and trying to incorporate whole grains as much as possible. The refined sugars also is kind of the catch-22 with depression, because oftentimes individuals with depression may gravitate more so towards the refined sugar food items, because it does give us that fast little bout of energy, does make us feel good immediately right after, but then we do see that crash afterwards. So it does kind of result in this kind of cycle. All right, looking at variety. So variety is really the key to life. Varied nutrients are going to make sure that we're getting all of the micronutrients that our body needs to thrive. Eating a variety of food items does also increase the satisfaction factor of eating. So this is tuning into like what actually sounds good, what our body desires, what our body craves, and actually practicing allowing ourselves to eat different types of food items. Looking at focusing on including all 3 macronutrients for meals, so starch, pros, and fats, and then incorporating fruits and veggies when possible. Again, variety does not mean omitting food groups or making foods quote unquote off limits. It's really learning how to practice eating all different types of food items in variety, moderation, and balance. All right, so looking at protein. So protein, like we mentioned, is important for meals, one of the macronutrients. It is vital to maintain skin, organ, muscle, and improved immune function. There is also some research that suggests that the amino acid tryptophan has an effect on the brain, which can influence mood. I'm sure most of us have heard that tryptophan in turkey can make us feel sleepy. This is kind of how it influences our mood, can leave us feeling a little more calm and relaxed. I think it's important to note that, you know, we really do have to eat a pretty large quantity of turkey, for that example, to make us feel sleepy like we hear sometimes. The research around this was more so supplemented tryptophan, but I think it's still important to note that we can still get it in our diet as more of a preventative mechanism for depression. And the different food items that do include tryptophan are eggs, milk, meat, fish, beans, nuts, legumes, and lentils. All right, looking at omega-3 fatty acids. So as we know, these are essential. Our body cannot make these. We have to get them from external sources, so food or supplements. There is some studies that suggest that omega-3 fatty acids can actually improve overall mood and reduce depressive symptoms. Food sources include fish and other seafood. So we got salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, and sardines. Nuts and seeds include flaxseed, chia seeds, and walnuts. And then plant oils, we have flaxseed oil, soybean oil, and canola oil. I think it's important to note that vegetarian sources of omega-3s aren't typically as readily available in our body, meaning that only a small fraction of these are going to be utilized. That's not to say that we need to not highlight those, and they're still important, but if we are aiming to improve depressive symptoms, I think it's really important to focus on, or putting an emphasis on, the fish sources as well as supplementation if needed. All right, so looking at hydration. So adequate hydration status is really important for just overall health, so mental and physical health. There are some studies that link dehydration with increased depression and confusion. As we know, depression really has an influence on mental clarity, so it can make us feel really kind of fuzzy or hazy. It is characterized by restlessness and irritability, can increase fatigue, and can also affect the quality of sleep. And so as sleep is really important for just overall health and mental being, that can lead to increased anxiety and depression. All right, and then lastly, really just focusing on moving your body. I always like to highlight that this focus is more on joyful movement. It's the activity that we really find pleasant and brings us joy. It's trying to kind of move away from the idea that physical activity or exercise has to be rigid. It's really just kind of focusing on what we enjoy doing and what makes our body feels good. So as we know, physical activity releases endorphins, which really helps to improve mood, makes us feel relaxed and happy. It can also provide us some structure and a sense of purpose for the day and make us feel connected to others, which is really important in depression as people, can isolate. And then, like I said, it doesn't have to be rigid movement. This does not mean you have to go to the gym. It's really just kind of focusing on things you like to do. So walking counts as movement, jumping rope, tennis, swimming, all of these different things count as movement. So it's just kind of moving away from that rigid exercise. And I think that was it for the little factors that we were going to focus on for today. So I will just kind of open the rest of the time for questions and comments.
What's your opinion on algae oil for vegetarians?
To be honest, I don't know a whole lot about algae oil.
I was just curious. It's the EPA DHA, but you don't see a lot of studies on it. I was just curious if you'd seen.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen a whole lot of research on that, so I don't really have an answer. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was just kind of curious, throw it out there. Okay, so I will say that we've had a question in the chat just asking about access to the slides. We will make this recording available, but are you opposed to sharing the slides?
No, not at all. I can do that.
Okay. If everybody that wants a copy of the slides can throw their email into the chat, and then we will we'll download that and make sure we get those out as we can. Let me go ahead and well, do you have anything to add before I stop the recording and let people start asking questions?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. All righty. So let me go ahead and find the recording button. Where is it? There it is.